There may soon be a solution to the growing problem of COVID-19 variants. The University of Cape Town will begin clinical trials of a new broad-based vaccine this month. The HAD5 T-cell vaccine attacks the genome, protein code and spike of the virus. This will make it less susceptible to vaccine failure due to mutations. Let's discuss all of this now with Graeme Meintjes from UCT. Prof, a very good morning to you. And I'm sure I butchered the name of that. I'm not sure I actually got it right. Is that how you say it? Is it the HAD5 T-cell or HAD5 T-cell?
Yeah, it's the human adeno5 virus T-cell vaccine.
Okay, well, I would never have got that in the first place. All right, so tell us what it is exactly that you are working on and what it's expected to do for us.
So our research team at the University of Cape Town is going to be commencing a phase 1 clinical trial of this novel vaccine candidate. That has been developed by Immunity Bio, which is a company in the United States. They've already started trials in the United States. They've done a phase 1 trial there. Phase 1 trials are early development. So we first do phase 1 trials, and then if the vaccine is shown to be safe and generate immune responses in phase 1 trials, we'd move on to phase 2 and 3 towards registration. What's important about this vaccine candidate and what makes it different to the ones that we've been hearing about in the news over the last few months, there are two important differences. The one is that unlike the other vaccines which expose a single protein from the COVID virus or the SARS-CoV-2 virus to the immune system, this exposes two proteins. So in addition to the spike protein, it also contains the nuclear capsid protein. So that you can just immediately get the picture that it results in a broader immune response to the virus if someone is exposed to the virus after receiving the vaccine. And secondly, it's specifically designed to enhance the T-cell response to the virus. And so in addition to the antibody response, you get a strong T-cell response. And those two adaptations to the vaccine, the hope is, and this is why we do clinical trials to see that this is the reality in the clinical situation, the hope is that it will result in a broader immune response that is more readily able to cover variants that currently exist or may emerge in the future. And a potentially more durable, longer-lasting immune response. So
in terms of variants, Prof, are you working now with the sort of different variants that we've seen emerge around the world to actually make this, or when we say broad-based, is this going to be able to sort of deal with any kind of mutation or variant in the coming months or years? Yeah,
I mean, that would, you know, the issue really is that a lot of the mutations that result in the variants emerging occur in the spike protein. And so the spike is particularly prone to mutations, and that's where the changes that give rise to the variants really occur. And all of the vaccines that are currently, coming to use through those 3 trials, almost all of them target only the spike protein, whereas this contains the nuclear capsid protein as well. And the nuclear capsid protein is far less prone to mutations and far more constant across different variants. And so the hope is that with this vaccine, you would achieve an immune response that's able to cover potential variants because it's targeting what we call a conserved or a part of the virus that tends to be less prone to mutations. And then could potentially target the variants that currently exist, as well as ones that might emerge in the future.
So if and when this vaccine, when these trials are done, when it's deemed to be okay for us to use, will it replace the vaccines we are seeing now being used, or will it be used in people who've only been identified to be carrying the variant of this virus?
No, look, I mean, we use vaccines in people before they get infected to prevent infection and disease. So it would be broadly used. One very important message that I want to bring out is that the current vaccines that we have, like the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that is going to be used in healthcare workers now, are very effective at preventing severe disease, hospitalization and death due to COVID. And when I myself am eligible to get a vaccine as a healthcare worker, I will certainly go forward and get that vaccine. The role of this vaccine that we're now investigating is a next-generation vaccine that would come in and deal with some of the issues that the existing vaccines might have inadequacies, such as preventing infection and transmission, giving you a longer-lasting immune response and action against the variant. And it might be that when this vaccine, if it's shown to be safe and effective through the development process, that it might be used as a booster to the existing vaccines. That's one role that we could potentially see. But we first need to go through the process of seeing, as a standalone, is it safe and is it effective in preventing COVID? And when it is available, once it's been through that evaluation process, then we will have to define what its role is. But it's quite feasible that it would be a booster to people who've already received one of the other vaccines to just enhance and broaden the response and make it more durable.
Sorry, Prof. Yes, I did mean those who are exposed to the variant, or maybe those who've had the variant, they've sort of recovered from that, and would this still work on them if they were to be vaccinated after that?
Well, you know, there's a big question mark over the role of vaccination in people who previously had COVID.
Yeah.
And our current view is that people who previously had COVID should still get a vaccination because that will enhance the immune response that they've acquired through natural infection. So certainly, you know, whether people have had the variant or had the prior variant that was circulating, we would advise, if this vaccine is shown to be effective and safe, that it could be used in those people as well.
All right, very quickly for us, Prof, can you give us a sort of ballpark deadline or a date as to when we might expect this to be out there?
It's still several months away. So there are, as I said, phase 1 trials happening in the United States where the vaccine has been shown to be safe and elicit very good immune responses, both antibodies and T cells. We're starting the phase 1 trial in South Africa. And we will be giving the initial vaccine as 2 injections. We also are applying for permission to use the sublingual and oral capsule formulation and to assess that in phase 1 and see the immune responses, and then take the best formulations through to phase 2 and phase 3. Now, that process takes several months. So we, at the most optimistic, we would be looking to use this towards the end of this year. It really is a next-generation vaccine, and you know, we do have vaccines currently, as I said, that are very effective at preventing severe disease. This would come as a next-generation vaccine, and it needs to go through the correct evaluation process, and that will take several months.
Thanks very much, Professor Graeme Meintjes there from UCT.
Thank you.